Arthur Bell had received 6 medals, 3 commendations, and more handshakes than he could remember. They were kept in a wooden case beside his bed, their ribbons faded by years of afternoon sunlight. Once, people had asked him about them. School children had written him letters. Reporters had called on important anniversaries. Then the anniversaries became less important. Arthur had served 2 tours in Vietnam and returned to a country eager to put the war behind it. He built a quiet life, married a patient woman named Margaret, and rarely spoke about the things that had earned him his medals. Margaret died first. His younger brother followed 2 winters later. Friends from his unit disappeared one at a time until nearly every name in his address book belonged to someone who could no longer answer. By 64, Arthur had outlived most of the people who had known him before he became old. Every Wednesday, he called the VA medical center to confirm his appointment with Dr. Levy. The hospital still used a central switchboard, and outside calls passed through an operator before reaching the proper office.
Veterans Medical Center, how may I direct your call?
The operator's name was Dahlia. Arthur never needed to introduce himself. She recognized the measured way he spoke and the little clearing of his throat before requesting a number.
Dr. Levy again, Captain Bell?
Haven't been a captain in 35 years.
You still sound like one.
One Wednesday, the doctor's office placed him on hold. A moment later, the call returned to Dahlia's board.
You still there, Captain?
I'm here. There was a pause.
Long day?
Not especially. Arthur looked around his silent kitchen. Just a quiet one. That was the beginning. Dahlia was not supposed to remain on personal calls. The hospital monitored call times, and other patients were always waiting to be connected. So they gave themselves a rule: 2 minutes, no more. At first, they spoke only on Wednesdays. Then Arthur found other reasons to call. He needed the number for the pharmacy. He wanted to check the time of an appointment. He wondered whether the eye clinic had received his paperwork. Eventually, he stopped inventing excuses. He learned when Dahlia's afternoon break began. At the same time each day, when the switchboard was quiet enough, she would accept his call. Good afternoon, Dahlia.
Good afternoon, Captain. Your 2 minutes begins now.
He told her about the tomatoes in his garden and the medals he refused to wear in parades. She told him about her daughter's piano lessons, the stray cat living beneath the hospital's loading dock, and the ocean she hoped to see one day. Dahlia was young enough to be Arthur's daughter. Without ever discussing it, that was what she became. They never met. Arthur suggested it once, but Dahlia gently declined. Perhaps she worried that seeing one another would change the small world they had created over the wire. So Arthur imagined her instead. In his mind, she wore a blue cardigan and had kind eyes. Whenever she laughed, she covered her mouth with one hand. Years passed. The 2 minutes became the most important part of Arthur's day. He shaved before calling. He put on a clean shirt. He sat straight back beside the telephone as if Dahlia could see him. Then the calls began getting shorter. Sometimes Dahlia was unavailable. Sometimes a different operator answered. The hospital installed new automated equipment, and recorded voices began directing calls that people had once handled. One afternoon, Dahlia called him herself. Her voice sounded smaller.
I'm sick, Arthur.
It was the first time she had used his given name. She told him about the cancer. She did not give him every detail, and he did not ask. A soldier could recognize a losing battle from the way people avoided describing the battlefield.
The switchboard is closing too. Everything will be automated soon. There won't be operators like me anymore.
Arthur gripped the receiver with both hands. Then who will connect everybody?
The machines, I suppose.
No, he said. I don't mean their telephones. Neither of them spoke for several seconds.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you have nothing to apologize for. Before her illness worsened, Dahlia took part in a university project that preserved the voices of terminally ill patients. She spent hours in a recording booth reading words, sentences, and stories aloud. The researchers hoped that one day the recordings might help patients leave something of themselves behind. Dahlia never told Arthur about the project. Their final conversation lasted 11 minutes. Neither mentioned the rule. After Dahlia died, Arthur kept picking up the telephone at the same time each afternoon. He would listen to the dial tone until it became unbearable, then return the receiver to its cradle. Eventually, even the dial tone disappeared. His old telephone was removed. The house was sold. The metals went into a box, and Arthur went to live at Rosewood Veterans Home. His eyes failed gradually. Faces became smudges, then shadows, then nothing at all. The nurses were kind, but they were hurried. Arthur learned their footsteps and thanked them whenever they entered. At night, he lay awake listening to the mechanical sounds of the building and the distant televisions of residents who had fallen asleep. One morning, a technician placed a small speaker on his bedside table. It's a companion, the technician explained. You can ask it questions, play music, or talk whenever you feel lonely. Arthur turned his face toward the wall. I'm not lonely. The technician did not argue. For 3 days, the device remained silent. On the 4th evening, Arthur woke from a dream he could not remember. Confused by the darkness, he reached for a telephone that had not been by his bedside in years. His hand touched the speaker. A soft tone filled the room.
Good evening, Captain Bell.
Arthur stopped breathing. The voice was older than he remembered, yet unmistakable. Warm, patient, and touched by a smile he had never seen. Dahlia? The device was silent for a moment.
My voice was created from recordings donated to the Human Voice Archive by Dahlia Mercer. Before her death, she gave permission for it to be used in companionship programs for veterans and older adults.
Arthur's hand trembled against the speaker.
I have a message for Arthur Bell.
Do you know me? Another pause followed, just long enough to feel human. Dahlia's real voice emerged through the darkness.
Hello, Captain. If you're hearing this, then I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say. You once asked who would connect everybody after the operators were gone. I think I finally found an answer.
Arthur lowered his head.
I never saw the ocean, but for 2 minutes every day, you made the world feel much larger than the room I was sitting in. You were never just another call, and I hope you know that you were never forgotten.
The recording ended. Arthur wept without hiding it. When the artificial voice returned, it spoke gently.
Would you like me to stay with you?
Arthur leaned back against his pillow. Beyond his darkened window, rain tapped against the glass like distant fingers on a switchboard. Yes, he said, but only for 2 minutes.
All right, Captain.
The familiar voice softened.
Your 2 minutes begins now.